Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes are Nazis. Nazis? I'm of German heritage. If anybody has any right to talk about Nazis or identify Nazis, it's me. So welcome back to the channel, Culture Confederacy here. It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Now, I normally don't post on Tuesday nights, and if you're new to the channel, you won't find any fancy graphics here. I don't come on screen and go, look at me, look at how shredded I am, look at all this money I have. We don't do that here. So we try to preserve great art, music, history, and culture, talk about the news of the day. You might get a tinge of politics, but that's what the channel's about. So it is what it is. And we do these in one take. So I have an audio clip here for you because yesterday, no, it was today. I'm sorry. I'm losing track of my days. We're trying to keep up with all this stuff. So at any rate, so I believe it was today that Ben Shapiro posted this video going after Nick Fuentes for Nick Fuentes responding back to Ben Shapiro or this interview with Tucker Carlson. 45 minutes of this, however long it took. No ads, by the way, no ads. So, how did Nick Fuentes get radicalized? Well, because it seems that Ben Shapiro did a little of his editing trick as he normally does. Have you noticed this? And have you noticed that whenever Ben Shapiro, or whenever there's a big topic, and let's say Ben Shapiro's involved, or you have an interview like you had with Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes, that he waits about a week to respond. You ever notice that? There's other news out there. He's got to cover other news. Now, this is no knock here on Ben Shapiro, but you're kind of late to the game here. And remember this past weekend, you had Mark Levin and people like Officer Tatum and all these other people. Again, not knocking these people now. But I call out hypocrisy when I see it. So they're at the Republican Jewish Coalition. And Mark Levin's up there calling Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens and Steve Bannon. Now, I really have no thoughts one way or the other on Steve Bannon. I think some of these people are way out there. That's just my humble opinion. But he's talking about how Nick Fuentes is a radical, that he's a Nazi. He loves Stalin. Well, hell, as it turns out, and this is from the actual Tucker Carlson Nick Fuentes interview. I'm going to share this little audio clip with you. Because guess how Nick Fuentes got radicalized? You ready for this? I'm just going to play the clip through. Not going to say anything. I believe I'm not violating any copyright laws here because this is here on YouTube. Okay? It's about 45 seconds. So here we go. This is how Nick Fuentes got radicalized. Remember, he's speaking with Tucker Carlson.
I was listening to Mark Levin's show. This goes to show how normie I was. Actually, I listen to him every day.
You listen to Mark Levin every day?
In high school, yes.
Wow.
I was a fan. I loved his show, and I actually liked how he was kind of obnoxious and mean to his callers.
Yeah.
Vicious, and I liked that. I thought that was funny. But I'll never forget one show. He goes live, and he says, America's becoming a majority non-white country. Does anybody think that's a good idea? And I was thinking to myself, yeah, that actually doesn't sound so good. I didn't really even think that America's becoming majority-minority like that.
And you were radicalized on race by Mark Levin?
Yes.
So Mark Levin, who's on stage at the Republican Jewish Coalition, is going to call out Nick Fuentes. And I really have no thoughts on Nick Fuentes. I'm not a fan of his, okay? I don't watch his show. So I'm not a follower. So I'm neutral. I'm neutral is what I'm trying to say. But he's going to go on stage and he's going to say that Nick Fuentes is a far-right radical who's a Nazi sympathizer who loves Stalin. Now, yes, that's true that Nick Fuentes said that. I'm not going to defend some of the statements that Nick Fuentes said, because again, some of those statements are way, way out there. He's on his own planet, so to speak, okay? But you're going to go on stage, you're going to accuse this guy of being a radical, of loving Hitler and Stalin, and he listened to your show and talks about a segment in this interview with Tucker Carlson now about how you were discussing on your show, Mark Levin, the United States becoming a predominantly non-white country. But somehow Nick Fuentes is the racist, he's the sexist, he's the homophobe, he's the radical. So how come Ben Shapiro did not include this clip in today's or yesterday, whenever he posted this reaction video to Nick Fuentes? And again, I am neutral on this, okay? I'm just pointing out what's out there, all right? Go investigate this yourself. Now, this appears, just to give you the timestamp here, between the 5-minute and 30-second mark and 6-minute and 20-second mark in this interview. So it's the very beginning of this interview. But I think it's really convenient that Ben Shapiro would leave this out. I think this would be a very important clip to include in your video, don't you? And I agree with Nick Fuentes, and in some ways with Tucker Carlson, on this issue about not getting involved with all these foreign countries. I don't care if it's Israel. I don't care if it's Iraq, Iran. I don't care if it's Japan. America needs to be, we can trade with these countries. I've said that before. I've got nothing against us trading with a foreign country. But we need to put the homeland first. In fact, I just wrote an article at Substack. You're going to go check it out. It's called A Nazi Named Tucker, ? It's talking about how Conservative Inc. is blinded by their love for Israel. You know, it's one thing to support a country, like I said, trade with them, give moral support. But when you start sending financial aid and you start sending weapons and fighter jets and you name it, you're getting yourself into a whole world of trouble. The homeland should come first. And nowhere in the Constitution, again, nowhere in the Constitution, Ben Shapiro or Mark Levin, Conservative Inc., nowhere in the Constitution does it say that the United States is required to send financial aid or prop up another country, send financial aid to or prop up another country. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that. Or that we're supposed to have political parties. It doesn't require that. So why do we have these political parties? Why are we sending money to Israel when we have veterans who need our assistance? We need to take care of the homeland first. But I thought I'd share this with you because I just think it's a real scream that Ben Shapiro is going to come out and he's going to attack Nick Fuentes. And to say this 4 or 5 times in the video, I will. Again, I'm neutral on a lot of these people that are out there on social media. I may watch a video or two here or there if something comes up, something that I might research for the channel here. But Ben Shapiro, I'll tell you what I think, and I said this in my last video. In fact, this is in my article. I think what Ben's really mad about is that Tucker got the interview. That's what he's really mad about. Tucker got the interview. Because I think Ben would not dream of anything more than to have Nick Fuentes on a show just so he could go after Nick Fuentes and call him a Jew hater right out. Just my humble opinion here. So tell me what you think in the comments section below. Thank you again for being with me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. You can follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Thus, this mission to preserve great art, music, history, and culture. You can also find me at Substack. Or go to Culture Confederacy at Culture Confed 1 on X. Now, if you're interested in that article I wrote over at Substack, again, title of the article, A Nazi Named Tucker, ? If you're on X, just click on the link to Substack. It'll get you to the article, or go to Substack and find Culture Confederacy at Substack. So thank you for being with me. God bless. Keep up the culture. I'll catch you next time. And y'all have a great Tuesday night. Take care.